Yo, what's going on? What's going on, good people? Peace and love, peace and love, peace and love. Happy Wednesday, happy Wellness and Wisdom Wednesday. We are back again with another episode of SR Daily. I'm your boy, your host, LaShawn Sugary Marston. You are tuned in. Listen, I am feeling a lot better. I do feel like I've been in bed for 2 days, though. Man, I've been in bed since Monday. My body feels it. All right, being in bed is that long is not. But I had no energy. I was definitely fighting off a bug. Something was definitely going on inside my body. But I love my body because my body fights things off, man. It gets rid of things fairly quickly. So 2 days laid up, and we back, man. Going outside today. Yo, champ, what's going on? Eddie Kruger, what's going on? You just came from the rap battle. You don't want no smoke. You don't want a battle, bro. Huh? Yo. Dr. Jam, what's going on, brother? Essence, what's going on? Sister, peace and love, peace and love, peace and love. Yeah, man, I was fighting off a bug, man. It was freaking insane. Hot flashes, cold flashes. Headache was insane. Couldn't take the sounds, couldn't take the freaking lights. But we here, listen to my body. Ate a little bit, some peaches, ate some granola yesterday, man, some granola with some bananas. But yeah, today we woke up and, we're feeling better, man. I was up in the bed. I was up early, but I didn't have the energy to really work out, man. So I just laid there and meditated and envisioned and just gave thanks. I watched the sunrise. I love the fact that the sun rises every day, like my bedroom window. The sun comes in and it freaking shines through the window. And it just feels so good. It feels so good to wake up with the sunrise, right? To wake up before the sunrise and to witness the sunrise. It feels incredible. It is something about that energy that just fuels you, that just like, it feels so good. It nourishes you, mind, body, soul. And today we're better. We're going outside today. Rain's supposed to hold off. We start filming today, right on time. We start filming a project about police accountability, about community safety. Really it's about community safety, not really police accountability, but it's about community safety. How do we keep each other safe? How do we keep each other safe in the world where a lot of people don't feel safe? We are starting, of course, in my hood in Queensbridge. Shout out to the Echoes of Incarceration crew, man, for this project. Getting a budget, right? Getting some money for the project. It's always good to get paid for your work. All right. Today we start filming, man. Super excited for that. You guys know I love filming. I love documenting. I am a filmmaker at heart, right? I love making films. I love participating in films. This is not something that I'm producing. I'm just the on-air talent. I am the host of the thing. I'll be facilitating conversations. I'll be facilitating interviews. Right. Today we're going to be in the community talking to people. Right. So super excited for that. Right. That's going to go down. We're going to start film at about 12 to about 3. Hopefully the rain holds up. It's supposed to hold up till about 3. I'm excited for that. You be all right? Yeah, man. I'm straight. Again, I feel strong. My body just feels like, right, I've been laying down for 2 freaking days. But strong, right? I'm gonna stretch after this. Straighten up a little bit. I just threw some stuff around the last few days because I had to get on Zooms. On my couch, I was on the Zooms. I was just throwing papers around on the floor. So we're gonna straighten up a little bit today. And get back to business, man. What up, black man? What's going on? Mona Love, what's up, baby girl? Happy Wellness, Winning, and Wisdom Wednesday. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. Listen, we're going to get the show started. Once again, I'm your boy, your host, LaShawn Sugary Marston. You are tuned into SR Daily, episode 456. Episode 456. 456 is a very special number to me. I played a lot of dice, gambling a lot, CeeLo. All right, and 456 is head crack. That's when you win the game, when you roll a 456. And I was known for rolling a lot of 456s. 456 is also the buildings, 4104, 4105, 4106. That is right around. So my mother's building, 4106. The other 2 buildings right in the same vicinity is 4104, 4105. And that's where I did a lot of my hustling at. All right. 456, very special number. We're going to get the show started, guys. Wednesday, September 17th, 2025. Today's quote of the day. Oh, snap. First segment. I forgot to write the quote of the day. I got caught up in the news. I got caught up in the tip. I got caught up in the build. We forgot to write a quote of the day. So let us come up with a quote. Today's quote is a quote from me. quote that I love. If anything would have been different, then everything would be different. If anything would have been different, everything would be different. I understand that a lot of us, we like to say that, if we go back, we would change everything. We would do things differently, right? That's something that a lot of people say, something that I once said, especially relating to my dad's transition. Passed when I was only 11 years old, most painful moment of my life, most painful experience of my life. Still, I've had some pretty painful experiences, but nothing compares to the emotional pain, the mental anguish, and the physical discomfort of not having my dad. Even like just hearing that he transitioned, that was freaking insane. But if you change one thing, you change everything. And again, I like to say that today I'm living my dream. Again, getting paid to be part of a project about community safety, right? Get paid to do my food justice work, right? I've been paid to lead workshops in my neighborhood about culture and about health and wellness. And that's super dope, right? That's the dream. The dream is to do what you love and to make a living doing it, right? Getting paid to be part of this men's freaking organization, All Kings, right? Got paid, unfortunately, right? Formerly incarcerated, but formerly incarcerated people, we get stipends for participating. All right. So yeah, super dope, super necessary, and I wouldn't change anything. Right. I wouldn't change anything, as painful as those things were, right? As tough as those things were. If you change any one thing, everything could be different. And yeah, you could be optimistic and it could be better, but it could be worse. You could not be alive right now. Right? You could not be alive. Like more recent, if I go back and change the decision that I made, or the conversation that happened that led to me not being in my children's life for 18 months, right? Extremely fucking painful, extremely painful. I cried every single day. Literally, I woke up with tears in my eyes every day, dry tears in my eyes. Cry myself to sleep every day, cry throughout the days. I still cry from that pain, right? The impact that it had on them, not even the impact on me, the impact that it had on them, right? I would do something a little different. But I know that if I did something a little different, and this is really tough, it's a tough concept. If I did something different, if that did not happen the way it did, maybe somebody could be dead right now. Could have been a car accident. Could have been anything could have happened. And so we give thanks. We give thanks because we know that we are not the all-seeing eye. As much of a visionary as I am, as much as I like to believe that I can see a little bit into the distant future, I can't see 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line. I could project, I could envision, I could hope, but I don't know exactly what life got in store for me and the people who I love. And so I trust the process. As long as things are well, right, and things are always well, then I give thanks. And things are well. Things are not perfect. Things are not ideal. There's still a lot of shit with that, specifically with the situation with my children. And yeah, there's a lot with that still, right? But things are a lot better and things are getting better, right? We was on a beautiful Zoom call last night reading riddles to each other, right? That's super fun. That's super great, super dope. And again, my philosophy tells me and informs me that if I change one thing, then everything changes. If I make one thing a little bit different, then everything is different. And there's no guarantee that it's better. So that's our quote for the day. We're going to move right along to our second segment of the day. Today's second segment, as always, is our Need to Know News of the day. Today's Need to Know News. Listen, mark your calendars, mark your calendars, mark your calendars. Uncle, if you're available Saturday, I need you to come out. I need you to come out and be part of a conversation. This Saturday, September 20th, from 5 to 7 p.m., I will be participating in a very important conversation about policing, community safety, and alternatives to mass incarceration. And that's completely separate than the film project. It's no coincidence how things align, right? That this conversation, well, the documentary project, the series is actually going to be a series more than a documentary, right? The series project has been in talks for some months now. It's been in talks for damn near a year. We've been talking about this project and, looking to get some funding for it and got some funding for it. But this conversation that we start filming today is a completely separate group of people, completely separate intention than the conversation I'll be having on Saturday. I'll be part of a conversation. It's something called the Conscious Kickback, where people get together and have discussions around issues that pertain to Black and brown people in our communities here in New York City and really around the country. Shout out to, I think, Lily. I think her name is Illy. Shout out to Illy in the Conscious Kickback. She is the director of the Conscious Kickback. She facilitates these conversations. She organizes these conversations. Shout out to her. I was part of a Conscious Kickback a few months ago at the Dynasty Dispensary when Brother Frank Bold of the Bold Art Gallery did his art exhibit there. And I forgot what that conversation was on. It was on cannabis and something else. But yeah, very important conversations. Saturday, September 20th from 5 to 7 p.m. Again, policing, community safety, and alternatives to mass incarceration. Very important discussion. Extremely necessary conversation. Give a big shout out again to the Conscious Kickback and to Fit for Dance NYC. Shout out to Fit for Dance NYC for hosting it at their venue. The location is 21 Snyder Ave in Brooklyn. Please write the address down. And if you're able to come out 5 to 7 p.m., I will be there. 2-hour discussion. I am what the Conscious Kickback is calling a conversation catalyst. All right, so not a panelist. And I like that. Like, I remember when they first were telling me about it, it's like a catalyst. Not a panelist, because a panelist is normally when there's people in front, right, and then there's the audience, and then there's a conversation really that centers the people in front, which that has a space. However, I like the conversation catalyst because everybody is encouraged to share. Everybody is encouraged to participate in a discussion. It's not just these panelists who are experts who are coming to give this freaking information. It's a conversation catalyst. People who may know a little more, right, are gonna kick the conversation off, right? But it's going to be a community discussion, and I really love that format. I really think the sister is onto something with that conversation catalyst, right? So yeah, I'll be a catalyst along with another sister who is part of Fortune Society. I'm excited to connect with her. I got some people in Fortune Society. I got some work I need to do with the Fortune Society, right? And so excited to be in communication with her. Excited to meet her. I don't think I've met her before. She looks a little familiar, but I can't put the name to it. But yeah, come out, man. Saturday, 5 p.m., right? 21 Snyder Ave in Brooklyn, 5 to 7 p.m. Saturday. And be part of this discussion. Saturday's going to be a long day for me because I also have a training, men's group training, CFT, Credible Facilitator training, all right, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. So I'll be going straight from there. I'll be headed over there, all right, be from Harlem to Brooklyn. And yeah, super excited. Like, I love when days are like that, though. I love when I have full days and when I'm going from one discussion or one energy to the next energy, all right? And I really want to give a shout out to the All Kings organization for creating this CFT, Credible Facilitator organization. And what's so dope, right, is that humility is always key. I've been facilitating conversations, healing, right, for men, for women, for various communities for some time now, over a decade, right? And I remember when they sent the info out, who wants to be part of this? And I registered immediately. Why? Because I know that there's always more to learn. No matter how much I think I know, no matter how good I think I am, I can always get better. There's always more to learn, right? I can always increase my skills. I can always increase my communication. I can always increase my sensitivity. I can always, I'm a student, I'm a sponge. I love learning. And I love learning from people really who are younger than me, who've been doing this certain thing a little longer than me, right? The brother who is facilitating this training, Javon, he's 5 years younger than me, right? But he's been doing this specific work for a bit longer than I have. I've done a lot of grief stuff. I've done a lot of mental health stuff. And again, I'm pretty good, but humility. So that's what's happening. Saturday, I'll be there morning and then to afternoon, and then I'll be leaving there, headed over to Brooklyn to be part of the discussion, the Conscious Kickback conversation on policing, community safety, and alternatives to mass incarceration. We know that the criminal justice system, criminal injustice system, and we know that the prison industrial complex is not about rehabilitation. It's not about making people better, helping people heal. It's not about restoring relationships, right? I often say that somebody asked, why do people who are not in the streets, right? People who are not in the streets, why are they adverse to calling the cops when somebody gets shot or when something happens in the neighborhood, somebody's raped or there's a robbery? Why do, quote unquote, civilians who are not living the street life, why do they have a hard time calling the cops? Or it's not snitching if they're not in the lifestyle. And I get it. And I often say, because they understand intuitively that the system does not benefit anyone. Locking someone up may make you feel better, but it does not help that person get better, right? It does not help the family who's been violated or the victim. It does not help them real talk. It does not help them get justice. They do not get mental health help. They do not get emotional health help, right? They don't get anything. They don't get any services because the person goes to jail. Who wins? The fucking state. That's who wins. And so we need alternatives to mass incarceration. We don't need to just keep locking people up, right? So there's a thing called restorative justice, right? And that's transforming into healing justice, right? Brother speaks about a story where doing a restorative setting where he sat in a conversation with a man who was he killed his wife, right? Hit her with his car, got really angry, hit his wife with his car. But he sat in a discussion with her family, right? And him. And he said, healing happened. And that's what we want, healing, right? It's not just about punishing. We know that punishment does not deter crime, number one. The threat of punishment does not deter crime. And punishment does not lead to a person healing. What do you want? Do you want a person to heal, or do you just want to punish a person? Clearly, in Western society, in America, people just want to punish a lot of times. But it's because that's how we've been conditioned. We've been conditioned to think that's the only way. It's just punishment. So I love being a part of conversations. I love being a part of the generation that is looking beyond punishment, that is looking towards how do we restore relationships, right? How do we restore relationships? How do we restore communities, love and trust, right? I love being a part of this shit. Shit is super dope. But yeah, that's Saturday, man. Come through. Again, 21 Snyder Avenue, 5 to 7 p.m. Fit for Dance, NYC. That is the name of the venue. Let's move right along to our third segment of the day. Yo, Omar Bravo, what's going on, my brother? Peace and love. We're right along to our third segment of the day. Today's third segment always is our tip of the day. Today's tip is, listen, do not overextend yourself. Mona Love said the kickback was cannabis and professionalism. Yes, that's the one I was a part of a few months ago. You were there, right by my side. I love that. I love you. Thank you for being there. Sefu Sankofa, peace and love, big brother. Peace and love. Listen, third segment, tip of the day. Today's tip, don't overextend yourself for people who don't overextend themselves for you. Be wise and be mindful. It may be tough. It may be freaking tough, especially if you grew up with the mindset that family is everything, that your friendships are super important, right? Like, you still value those types of bonds. I get that it's tough. Be mindful, though. Understand that there are people who you would drive across the country for who wouldn't even contact you when they're in your neighborhood. Hear me. There are people who you would drive across the country for. You will go to hell and high water for these people. They'll be in your neighborhood and won't even contact you. They won't even contact you in your neighborhood. Be mindful, yo. Like, don't overextend yourself. Like, it's okay to want to do something. It's okay to have the feeling. It's okay to do it sometimes. Like, follow your heart ultimately. Follow your inner compass. But don't let it be led by old ideologies where there's not reciprocation, right? And yes, there are times when one person does more than the other person. Absolutely. That happens, right? It's not always going to be balanced. There's going to be sometimes where there's imbalance, all right? With respect to that, be mindful. I didn't just say, like, be mindful. Be mindful, be wise. There are people you would drive across the country for. And they'll be in your neighborhood. They'll be in your city, right? They'll be in your city, and they won't even contact you. But you're going to hell and high water to call them, to text them, to check on them, to make sure they're okay, to send them love, and they don't return it. Be mindful, yo, because you end up getting yourself hurt too often. Not always, because you could do it and be detached, right? Like, you could not be attached to an outcome. You could just, I'm texting this person just because, I'm calling this person just because. But be mindful, man. Be mindful of when you're always the one to reach out, right? Be mindful when you're always the one to initiate communication. Be mindful. right? I think somebody posted something in the meme a few years ago, right? They said, I stopped reaching out first and realized my phone was really dry. I stopped communicating first and realized that my phone got really, really dry. How many of you are in that position where you're always the first person to communicate? Again, with a sibling, with a lover, right? Somebody you're dating, right? With a parent, right? With any type of friend, right? If you're always the person reaching out, right? And this is real, right? I'm gonna give a real life example, right? Dear brother of mine, I grew up, one of my best friends, right? One of my best friends. Always been there for him. Financially, he loses his mom's rent money when we're younger. I'm hustling, I got it, I give it to him, right? His dad passes, I'm there, right? This is going on in his family, I'm there. Shit, my aunt passed. A lot of people still ain't say, yo, Sugar Ray, how you holding up? And people knew how close I was to my aunt. So I think it's a fine line between not expecting you out of other people, right? That's real. Like, everybody's different, so don't expect you from other people. But if there's a so-called friendship, a brotherhood, a sisterhood, right? Even though expectations breed disappointment, there should be some type of expectation. I expect that you're going to communicate with me. I expect that I'm going through some shit. You see me going through some shit, you're going to reach out. You don't reach out, cool. I've learned. I've learned, and that person is no longer in my phone, right? Mad love. If something happened to their mama, I will be there. If something happened to them, I will be there if they died. But anything else other than that, I learned my lesson because I was hurt. I'm there. Your dad passed. I'm there for you. Every step of the way. What do you need? I'm calling. I'm texting. I'm there at the funeral. I'm there at the repast. I'm there. Early, staying late. What's needed? I got you. But when that love wasn't reciprocated in the least, it stung. But as they say, what don't kill you makes you stronger. I learned from that. And I'm getting better, right? I still sometimes do overextend. But I'm learning and I'm getting a lot better really fast, really quickly. I'm getting stronger. But yeah, that's our tip of the day, man. Don't overextend yourself. For people who don't overextend themselves for you, right? Be mindful, be wise. And let's move right along, family, to our fourth and final segment of the day before we get out of here. Fourth segment, as always, is our build of the day. Today's build, aging. Aging is unavoidable. Aging is unavoidable. As long as you live, you will age. Growing old is avoidable. You don't have to grow old. You can age with grace and in good health, right? Uncle, if you still there, and Dr. Jam, my man Dave, if you still there, I know you guys remember, because Uncle, it was your generation and older, right? That I remember. There were people who died, right? There were people who died, and they was in perfect health. How'd they die? Heart stop. Everybody has an expiration date. Like, your heart is going to stop beating, but you do not have to live with chronic illness for 30, 40, 50 years. You don't have to live like that, right? Like, there are stories I remember hearing. Such and such just died. They died in their sleep with a smile on their face. They died in their sleep with a smile on their face. I heard those stories. My mother, my father, their generation and the generation before them. I heard those stories. You guys might have heard those stories, right? It's very real. It's people who were in perfect health and they died in their sleep with a smile on their face. They weren't experiencing chronic illness. They didn't have diabetes. They didn't have cancer. They didn't have high blood pressure. They didn't have hypertension. They didn't have all these other autoimmune illnesses and diseases, right? Where they got to take all of this medication for 10, 20, 30, 40 years. Whoa, that's insane. 50 years of medication. But you got to take care of yourself. That's the key. And America doesn't make it easy to take care of yourself. The food is terrible. The air quality is terrible, right? Make everything, you want to drive and yeah, everything is elevators and escalators and nobody's walking up the steps anymore. I walked up the steps last week, Saturday, leaving the training in Harlem, headed back to Queens, 59th Street, Lexington Avenue. There's an escalator. You can go from the 4 train downstairs all the way up to the 6 train upstairs and then walk over to the end, right? Walk over and down to the end train. I started to go up the escalator, but I was like, let me test my foot, right? My ankle was still some pain, a lot better, but let me test my foot. I walked up those stairs, and if you know those steps, that's a lot of fucking stairs. People are coming down looking at me like I'm the only one going up because everybody's on the escalator. But like, I want to get healthier. I want to get stronger, right? And I like to push myself every chance I get when I'm able to, like physically able to. I'm gonna take the steps. Always take the steps over the elevator, right? Always. I'm gonna do my best to, all right? Again, when I'm physically capable, right? Physically strong enough. I'm not exhausted. My barber lives on the 6th floor, right? In the building in Queensbridge. Elevator go to the 5th floor. Elevator in his building is out. Elevator is not working for a couple of months. I walked up the stairs. He said, do you know how many young people canceled their haircut because they didn't want to walk up the stairs? I was like, whoa. How many young people, young men, canceled their haircut because they didn't want to walk up 6 flights of stairs? I was like, wow. That's insane, right? That's insane. It's insane. All types of cardiovascular issues, all types of bone issues. Like, listen, Japan, I spoke about this a couple of months ago, right? Japan was just documented as now having over 100,000 people who are 100 years of age and older. Understand that, hear me. Japan was just documented as having over 100,000 people who are 100 years of age and older. 66 is not old. My dad died at 66. He lived a long life. No, he might have lived a full life, did not live a long life. 76 is not old either. I love what brother Robert Harvey says. Robert Harvey, about to be 81 years old, in 2 weeks. Yeah, today's the 17th. 2 weeks, the 30th, September 30th, last day of the month, 13 days. Brother Harvey's going to be 81 years old. Harvey said, and he said a few years ago, he said, I wish people knew how young they were at 50, at 60, and at 70. He still runs across the bridge, Queensboro Bridge, a couple times a week, right? He doesn't do it as much as he did, a decade ago, 5 years ago. He's slowing down, but he's also more focused on his book, right? He's writing. He found the nice flow with his writing. He's loving where he's at right now in the process. I'm loving where he's at right now in the process. But like 76 is not old, man. 66 is not old. You could feel old, and you could feel old at 30. Like right now, today, my body feels old. I've been in bed for 2 fucking days, right? Haven't gone outside, haven't gotten any sunlight. You could feel old at a young age. Right now, my body feels like I've been in bed for 2 days. Good thing about it, I know how to get shit right? I know how to stretch, I know how to move my body, right? I know how to move, I know how to loosen things up, all right? So that's the good thing about it. But a lot of people, man, people work. They sit at work all day. They drive. They own the trains. They own the elevators. They own the escalators, right? They're sitting in front of the TVs, right? Yeah, man. They have terrible diets. Of course, people are going to freaking age, like get old, and they're going to be older, younger. They're going to get older, younger. There are people who right now going into their 30s are saying how old they feel. Although at this moment, right, I've been in bed for 2 days, my body feels old. I still feel younger than I did at 25. When I had the crazy back pain and back injury and I was walking sideways and listen, yes, at 76, 66, you can have a full life, right? You can have a full life at that age. You can have a full life at fucking 25, right? But those ages aren't necessarily old. So let's shift this mindset, guys. Let's shift this mindset of what it means to grow up, of what it means to age, and of like the concept of growing old. You can age with grace, eat better, exercise more, get more sunlight, maintain healthy relationships that make you laugh, that fill you up spiritually and emotionally, right? That sit good in your mental, right? Pick up your passion, right? Writing, reading, right? Like hiking, right? Find something that you really enjoy doing that you would do for nothing and do that shit by yourself or with somebody else, a friend, a lover, a child, a parent, right? Like do that shit, whatever it is. But guys, that's our show for today. That is our show for today. Listen, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Once again, I'm your boy, your host, LaShawn Sugar Ray Marcy. You're tuning in to SR Daily, episode 456, episode 456. I appreciate you guys, man. Listen, be sure to join us right back here tomorrow. Same time, same place, 9 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and Instagram Live. Do something for yourself today. Do something for your wellness today. Do something for your health today, mental, physical, spiritual, emotional, social. do something for your health today. It's Wellness and Wisdom Wednesday. Share some wisdom, take in some wisdom, and live your life like it's fucking golden. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. And remember, it ain't getting knocked down. That's the problem. It's staying down. So get up. The power is in you. As always, be kind to yourself and be kind to each other. Peace and love. Yo, Omar, you are welcome, my brother. Yo, I love you. I love you. I love you, Mona. Be great and make it a great one. I love you, brother, sister, Fusin Kofa. Peace.